Is master's degree a necessary condition to make a career in public policy? Look, guys, in the next 5, 6 slides, whatever I say, there are no straightforward answers, right? I cannot say a yes, I cannot say a no, right? It is all very, very subjective. All I'm going to be trying in the next 4, 5 slides is to put some structure around these subjective things. Okay. So, my response to this question is good to have, but not necessary. Okay. You need to question yourself why do you want to pursue a master's degree, right? If it is about these things, some of these things I've noted down on this slide. Specialized knowledge. If you are not really confident about your knowledge of areas like health, environment, education, public policy, economics, interdisciplinary, so to say, then maybe you can go for a master's program. It would give you adequate specialized knowledge needed to, do well in a public policy environment. Analytical skills, the skills which I mentioned, right? Now, obviously, people come in from various spectrums or backgrounds, right? Like I said, some people are good in quantitative skills, some people are good in qualitative skills. So it is about your own confidence. If you feel that, okay, one of the two skills, you know it reasonably well as a result of your academic knowledge or some previous work experiences, then, that's something you want to ask. If you want to really get into a full-time program to develop these skills, maybe master's program is for you. The answer is no, then there is another reason for you not to think seriously about a master's program. Networking opportunities, okay? Yes, we can network on a day-to-day basis. We can network via Rebounce communities, etc. But if you enroll for a full-time, and yes, guys, when I say master's degree, I'm talking about full-time 2-year program. Those of you who have interacted with me before, they would know. But I'm a big-time traditionalist, okay? So if someone says that, okay, they can provide a 6-month diploma program in public policy, they can provide a 1-year speeded up version of public policy program in India. I'm not talking about outside India. I do not buy that, okay? For me, a master's degree is a master's degree. It is a 2-year full-time on-campus program, as simple as that. If it is a 2-year full-time on-campus program, it would provide you a lot of networking opportunities. Your seniors, your juniors, your colleagues, profs, industry people who are coming on the campus and various things, right? Again, in my understanding, if you're going for a master's program, this, I would say, is the number one benefit. Forget about knowledge, analytical skills, etc. Networking is the number one benefit these days for a full-time master's program, 2-year full-time master's program. Career advancement. Yes, a 2-year program would help you in career advancement. Again, there are roles where master's degree is a necessary requirement, so you would be eligible for those. If not, it does provide a good signal in the market that you are serious about a role in public policy and you have invested 2 years of your time. You would have gained certain academic knowledge, certain professional skills, which would be relevant, and that helps in your career advancement, right? Again, credibility. Credibility is essentially the signaling reason which I was talking about. If you have a master's degree, you have invested 2 years of your life, it gives credibility, provides you the right credentials to get into public policy. Okay. I hope all of this makes sense. Now, what are the alternatives? Okay, because of some reasons, you don't want to go for a 2-year full-time program. Maybe because you are not really sure whether 2 years is something you want to invest in. Or maybe you are at a point in time in your life or career where it is not really possible for you to invest 2 years, right? Very well possible. Many of us face those dilemmas, those challenges, right? So then also it's not the end of the road, or it's not the end of the world as far as career in public policy is concerned, right? There are various other avenues. There are many people who are doing well in public policy, not having a master's degree or not having a relevant master's degree, right? So what do they do? Invest in relevant experience or internships, right? Do a lot of projects, guys. Okay. I know there are many certificates or online programs in public policy offered by Coursera, edX, and various other organizations, right? Big or small. When you write on your CV that you have done XYZ course from XYZ place, I would say it doesn't add a lot of value. Okay. Courses these days are fairly common. Anyone can do it, right? It won't add a lot of value. Until unless it is a fairly recognized course, the coursework is very intensive. There is an evaluation going on, which has a reputation of not, which has a reputation of people not able to qualify. If that is not the case, any certificate, however number of certificates you do, 5, 10, 20, 100, it won't add anything to your CV. Like I said, I recruit a lot. If I see a CV where I see 5 certifications, it won't tell anything to me. However, if you do the certification and you implement that in a project, maybe your own in collaboration with someone or whatever, that really allows you to stand out in the market, right? If I'm browsing through a CV which has 10 certifications, it is as good as nothing to me. But if you have one relevant project, it adds a lot of value. Because then I know the person has taken time out to implement whatever the person has learned. And there is a concrete outcome to that. And you can take it from my side, that adds a lot of value to your CV. It would, speed up your CV screening. It would give you a lot of content to talk about in interviews and various other places. Also, it would allow you to develop your skills, which helps you in, qualifying the take-home assignments. So please take this very seriously. However number of certifications you do, it doesn't add a lot of value, but one project trumps all of that. Yeah, networking and volunteering. If you're not willing to go for a master's program, do, intensive networking, intensive volunteering, reach out to people, figure out what is there in public policy, and advance your career in this space. Okay, so what is the conclusion of this question? Conclusion is A, yes, master's degree certainly opens doors and accelerates career advancement in public policy, but it is not the only path, and you can take it from me. It might be advantageous for people aiming for leadership roles, senior roles, etc., but there are other ways to do it. So yes, it is advantageous, but if you are not in a position to go for it, if you don't want to go for it, if you are not really sure whether public policy is a career for you, and you don't want to spend or devote 2 years, it is all right. There are many opportunities in the market which you can avail of and you can do well. Okay, so it is not the end of the road, is what I want to put. And here is a framework in these 2 slides which you can use to decide whether master's program is indeed for you or not. Okay. Now, question is, if you are a UPSC aspirant and you're thinking about going for a master's program or not, I sort of try to come up with a framework. Okay. Again, very difficult to come up with any framework because because you guys have been asking this question for a long time now. I just thought, let me try and put up a framework. There can be gaps over there, but I just wanted to put a bare minimum understanding of how you might frame your thinking around. Okay. So I've distinguished between 2 types of people who have spent less than 3 years preparing for UPSC and people who have spent 3 or more years preparing for UPSC. Okay. If you already hold a master's degree in a relevant field, it is a high cost, low benefit, avenue, so might not explore this. So irrespective of how much time you have spent preparing for UPSC, if you already hold a relevant master's degree, may not be in public policy, maybe some other relevant field, sociology, economics, this and that. In my understanding, again, it is purely my opinion. You are free to make your own. I don't think you should go for a master's program. Okay, full-time master's program, 2 years. Others for me are not master's program. But if you hold a bachelor's degree in the relevant field, then even if you have spent 3 years preparing for UPSC, it is a low-cost, high-benefit opportunity for you to go for a master's degree in public policy. Again, everything which I presented in the previous slides hold, right? So given all of those things hold, you have done an assessment, whether you want to invest 2 years of your time going for a master's program or not, or that yes, you are really passionate about public policy and you really want to build a career in this, then if you hold a relevant bachelor's degree, irrespective of how many years you have spent preparing for UPSC, yes, it should not be 9, 10 or 11. You can go for a master's degree. It will add a lot of value. Okay. Also, if you hold a bachelor's degree, but not in a relevant field, and you have spent less than 3 years preparing for your UPSC, master's program might be a low-cost, high-benefit, area for you. But if you have spent more than 3 years, 4, 5, or 6, then you have to be careful. Maybe average cost, high benefits. I don't know. It is a very subjective. Okay. Also, if you hold a master's degree in a field not relevant, then irrespective of number of years you spend preparing for UPSC, it will always be high cost and average benefit because you have already spent 2 years. And when I say cost, I'm not talking about monetary cost. So forget about monetary cost. What I'm talking about is the time cost and the effort cost, right? Human cost. So it will always be a high cost. Not saying that you should not go for one. If you really feel, based on what I presented in the previous slide, that yes, master's degree program is for you for the right reasons, you might go. The benefit might outweigh the cost. But in general, it will be a high cost game and maybe average benefits. I do. If you hold work X of less than 1 year in a relevant field, but master's degree in not a relevant field, I think for those of you who have spent more than 3 years preparing for UPSC, it is a high cost, maybe above average opportunity, maybe. And less than 3 years, yes, high cost and high benefit opportunity because it would provide you a platform. Also, if you hold work X, which is around a year in a relevant field, bachelor's degree in a relevant field, then again, low cost, high benefit, and average cost. Okay, I just wanted to quantify things, put in a structure. Obviously, there are a lot of contextualization. Every individual's story is different. Reach out to us, join our market readiness program. We will help you make a decision. But broadly, these are some of the considerations which you can consider while deciding whether you should be going for a master's program. Okay. Now, another question. Who should go for a master's degree outside India? Whatever I have presented in the last 3, 4, 5 slides still holds. Okay. But over and above that, I feel, again, my understanding, you are choose to take an informed decision. You are free to take an informed decision. I feel if you have means, yes, go for a master's degree outside India in public policy. If you do not have means, you want to secure a scholarship, and you're willing to wait, right? Scholarship might not come in year one. It might take 2 years or 3 years before you get the right scholarship. Yes, then go for a master's policy out in public policy outside India. This is like the best case scenario. Okay. Also, because especially in the top schools across the world, the selection rate is very small. Yes, higher than UPSC, but still fairly small. You might have to, and you are like really into that. Okay, if it is masters in public policy, you want to do it from somewhere outside India, not in India, because you see an ROI. You want to develop that kind of career. You are willing to wait. Then I would say work towards building a relevant profile. Okay, do things which might give weightage to your application. Again, related to you are willing to wait. Develop your profile. Do things which give weightage to your application, and then go for that dream master's program outside India for public policy. Let me give you an example. When I was in Pratham, I have seen people joining Pratham with the sole reason that they want to build their profile, and then maybe 2 years down the line or 4 years down the line, apply for a role outside India in MPP or MPA program. Okay. So it is Pratham's policy, very transparent policy, that if you spend 2 years working for the organization, they will give you a recommendation. If you spend 1 year, even if you are the best employee in the entire Pratham architecture, they might choose not to recommend you, right? So this is the sort of commitment which is needed from your side if you're really looking to break into top-notch schools in public policy globally and you do not have a relevant profile. I've seen people even spending 5 years to get into a very good role outside India, working for Pratham, developing their profile and trying again, right? So it is that difficult, but not impossible. Also, needless to say, if you are spending money, if you're spending time, etc., so you have to be confident that yes, public policy is a career for you. You have to, spend 2 years, 3 years, 4 years building your profile and then go for public policy course outside India.